r/ask Reddit. What's something that looked fun, but you realized it was horrible once you tried it? Shaving my legs. When I was too young to shave, I wanted to so badly. Now I avoid it for as long as possible. Those foot vibrating machines at amusement parks, zoos, etc. that are supposed to make you feel better after walking around all day. Saw some kids sitting on the metal plate instead, laughing. Asked my dad for some quarters. Tried to do the same thing. The force of the vibration caused me to shut immediately. Live action roleplay. It looks like fun adult dress up fighting, but it ended up being a bunch of sweaty guys in badly made tunics hitting me with padded sticks. Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. Playing D&D with strangers. This sounds like my nightmare. Captive work outings. Example. We have organized an afternoon boat tour. It means you will be crammed into smaller space, blasted with shitty music and expected to be friendly to people you are only around because you are paid to be. For 4-5 hours, you'll accomplish nothing of value, and your bosses think this is a reward. Ugh. This was a huge problem at my last job. My social life took a massive hit because I was spending 10-hour days in the office and constantly got sucked into social events. For example, the office provided free dinner every day, and it looked really weird to go home and eat dinner with your actual friends. I also used to play a lot of Smash Brothers with my co-workers, and they looked at me weird for wanting to stop after a while. Apparently, 2 hours wasn't enough, even if it was 9 or 10 PM. I prefer making friends with people outside of work. Things are more genuine because there's no office politics involved, and it gives you a break from work. Being a flight attendant. I'm a pilot and there are 2 airline jobs you couldn't pay me enough to work. They're gate agents and flight attendant. Both jobs seem like an endless stream of passengers yelling at you for things that aren't your fault or you don't know the answer to. Also, almost all airlines treat flight attendants like crap. At my airline, flight attendants can be fired for calling in sick. Almost every time I've had the flu in my life has been because flight attendants I've worked with have come to work nearly dying with the flu to avoid calling in sick for fear of being fired. It's total BS. Anime conventions. I actually had a good time at the comic conventions I've gone to, but for some reason the anime ones have been smelly, overpriced, creepy, and downright disturbing in some aspects. I have never had my ass groped so many times in one day. I'm a guy BTW. Being an adult. Bungee jumping. Free fall is always awesome, but the second and a half of free fall is not worth the cracking of the whip that's hard on your body if you do it wrong. Today I learned there are non-fatal ways to do bungee jumping wrong. In my case, they told me to do like a backwards dive off the platform. Problem was that I didn't commit to it enough, so I was still kind of parallel to the ground when the rubber band caught. Created a crack the whip action that did not feel good. Man, did my dad upsell mowing the lawn when I was a kid. He made it a thing my brothers and I aspired to do. We knew when we were old enough and responsible enough to mow the lawn we would officially be big kids. Turns out it's way more fun to sit on the sidelines with a popsicle. My brother and I loved it because we had a riding lawn mower and it would be years before we could drive a car. Jumping on a trampoline as a 235-pound adult. My exact thoughts. I bought an hour at a trampoline park. 5 minutes later I died. Then tried to jump in the foam pit and it took me a full 10 minutes to get back out. It's hell trying to get out of the foam pit. Somehow you sink deeper into the depths of hell when you're trying to escape. Shower sex. Water makes a poor lubricant. Showers are great for all the foreplay stuff like kissing and such, but not for the main event. Perfect for making out though. Paragliding. My boyfriend and I were on this magnificent trip and decided to have no FOMO and go paragliding in the German Alps. My god, the views were spectacular, but my god did I have to do everything in my power not to barf all over the views. I didn't realize that the motion sickness I get in twisty car rides would transfer during this activity, only 100x more intense. The guide I was attached to swiftly handed me a bath bag but thanked me profusely for not using it when we landed because apparently it was full of holes. LOL, why was it full of holes? It had been jammed into his harness gear, so I would like to imagine just wear and tear, and not sabotage. Fruit stripe gum. This is more of a childhood example, but damn if it doesn't fit this description. I love the flavor of fruit stripe gum, but it only lasted all of 2 minutes. Riding a mechanical bull at my 33rd birthday party. Felt that for 3 days after. I rode one around the same age and didn't have a problem. I rode one again a few years ago when I was 42 and I'm just starting to feel better. I'm 45 now. Bubble soccer. The first time I got laid out I was not amused. Then I accidentally punched myself in the nose after getting hit another time. The only time I played it, the Zorb bubble was scratched so it was hard to see where the soccer ball was. That, and I broke my toe after 2 minutes. Homemade zip slides. I went on one at a scout camp. Almost broke my pelvis. My friend's dad used to build all sorts of fun stuff when we were kids. The zip line was the best. We wanted to improve upon it, but we were 10 years old and weren't engineers, like he was. We found a laundry basket and tied it using some jump ropes. It worked very well, until the end. It hit and turned the basket into a swing which we rolled out of and onto the ground. A ground covered in acorns and stickers. Her dad was actually impressed the basket didn't fall off and the ropes didn't snap. He loved when we did things like that because he was able to turn it into physics lessons. We always limped away a bit smarter. Fast food. Every time. Yeah, their photography is great, but what you get looks nothing like that. I feel like I've eaten sadness. I think Burger King smells great when I drive by it, but I had a craving for a Whopper when I was pregnant and I almost puked in the parking lot after eating it. Graduating high school. The thought of being independent and free from all the baggage that was school doesn't seem so great when you realize you have to jump into the adult world blind and confused as to what the duck even is your life. I understand why some people think this, but I personally hated every second of high school and was more than happy to graduate. I didn't even bother with the graduation walk. I got my diploma. The actual certificate came before the ceremony. They only gave out the holders during the actual walk, and ran for the proverbial hills. Sadly, I ran directly into a shitstorm of drama and college problems, but I still don't miss high school for even a second. Drink nights at museums. Am I the only one who wants to dress up nice, sip classy drinks, and look at stolen relics and dead animals like some kind of hoity-toity toff? It was just a club night in the museum, complete with bad music, club horns, trashy people, and woo girls. Where's my high society? Riding in a hot air balloon. I dreamed about it for years, got it as a birthday present, and threw up over the side the whole time. They had to stop the ride early. This really tall, intense water slide. I won't go into detail, but it was not pleasant. You talking about those ones where the floor drops out from under you? Because I was about to type this and post it. I'm big roller coaster lover and I'm always seeking new thrills. But these water slides are just straight up painful. The little ridges where they connect the slide pieces together bump up your back and hit the back of your head at warp speeds. Oh, I thought they were talking about how water goes up your holes if you don't clinch really hard. My first and last big water slide had me farting water afterwards. Spin class. It's an excellent workout, but I used to have to position my bike where I couldn't see the clock, because I'd look up and see that we had 25 minutes left or whatever and just want to die. Also, when you're first starting out, the pain to your vulva and bottom is excruciating. After being fat 90% of my life, I actually mustered the willpower to get in shape, and now I realize all of my problems are because of me, but not because I was fat. That just means you're one step closer to solving your problems. My man, you can do this. Diving. Joined the team in high school as it looked fun. It was not. Most painful sport I've ever participated in. My first attempt at a front double wound up being a 2-1 stroke 4. The water felt like concrete, and my entire front upper body looked like I had a 3rd-degree burn. The dive that got me to quit was a half gainer that I landed to the side of but behind the board. Had I not landed to the side, I would have landed in the middle of the board, collected my shit and noped the duck out of that sport then and there. Vacuuming. They give you those vacuum toys as a kid, and you just think it's the coolest thing. Then you grow up and it sucks. I mean, it's not torture, but definitely not as fun as the toys made it seem. Where are my balls that pop around in the vacuum while I move it around the floor? Just because I'm an adult doesn't mean I still don't have a short attention span. Oh look. Shiny stuff. Exploring caves. It sounded amazing. Then I spent 8 hours knee deep in batshit and crawling. Or more accurately jamming my body through tiny passages face down. In the dark. With all types of vermin crawling on me in a 98° Fahrenheit hole in the ground. Then they were nice enough to tell me the most common cause of death is something called a dead hang. It's when you fall in a hole and get tangled in your climbing ropes and they can't find you or get you out. You just hang there all mangled up until you die. And that waterfall you can hear but can't see? I bet it's beautiful, but it's probably one of those places you could fall into pretty easily. Then when you're hours away from where you entered this hellhole and you've been in complete darkness for long enough, you get this feeling of dread they call the rapture. You'll give anything to get it out of there and see the sun again, but it's not possible. It will a very long time before you get out. It was an experience I am glad I had, but I'd never do it again. This makes me anxious just to read. That's gonna be a no from me. Getting my foot run over by a car. For some reason thought it wouldn't hurt and it would be fun, so when my friend's mum drove the car into my driveway I stuck my foot right under the tire, and as it went over my foot it crushed my foot and I screamed out and made her feel incredibly guilty for my blatant stupidity. Orange Theory Fitness. Everyone raved about it and loved going. I now know what hell is like and I paid $15 to be there. Getting a facial. They make it look so fun and relaxing, but it actually hurts so bad. Hosting a New Year's party at my house with my extended family. It seemed fun and great at first, but after 3 hours into it, I was not enjoying it and had party remorse. I kept on telling myself, WTF did I get into? Why did I invite all these annoying people? Oh, that's the reason why I don't talk to my cousin that much. Worst part of it all, my family didn't leave until 2 days later. Somehow my party turned into this 2-day bed and breakfast stay. Never again. Hell no. Working in management. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.